practice tip of the day.
Howdy folks, Ryan from RNA Music here to talk to you about practicing your guitar or your drums or your piano or your singing, any of the things that you're trying to get better at as a musician. I know sometimes people think practice is a dirty word, but it's not. It's how we get to our goals, and it's how we accomplish the things that we want to accomplish. Alright? So a lot of times in our society today, people are always coming up to me and telling me, I don't have time to practice. I don't have time. I want to play the guitar really bad. I just can't seem to find the time. Okay? So we're going to talk about some ways to help you find the time to work on your instrument. We play music because we love it and we want to, and that's the trick really. So here's a couple of tips on how to find time to practice, okay? Because if you don't practice, let's just call it playing. Forget to practice. If you don't play the guitar, or you don't play your drums, or you don't practice, you're never going to get better, and certainly not better quickly. So to make quick advances in your playing, you've got to put in the time. So how do we do that? I'm glad you asked. We're going to talk about that. Okay, so tip number one. First of all, schedule it, right? Some people hate schedules, journals, all that kind of stuff, but you know what? It's wired into us. It's what we do. If you're watching this, chances are you either go to school or you go to work, right? So if you do one of those two things, you have a schedule. If you have to be at work at 8 o'clock, are you at work at 8 o'clock? Yeah, it's an appointment. You know you've got to be there. If you got to be at school at 7:45, hopefully you're there at 7:45. Why? Because you know you have to be there at 7:45. That's when it starts. We're geared that way. If you had a doctor's appointment, would you show up to it? Yes, because you have to go. Your doctor's appointment is Tuesday at 3 o'clock. You're going to be there at 3 o'clock, right? It's not rocket surgery. So here's the deal. You've got to kind of just manage your time. If you don't manage your time, it will manage you, and the things you have to do are going to outweigh the things you want to do. Okay? So, first of all, you got to decide, do you really want to learn to play an instrument? I hope so. Now, if you do, the easiest way to make sure that this happens is to schedule it. Get a piece of paper. Boom. Paper. Write it down. You need to sit down and figure out your day. If you're a student, you go to school, you get out of school at a certain time. What time do you get home? Just figure that out. For you, some of you guys, it might be 3:30. Some people might be 4 o'clock. It might be whatever it is. But you need to figure out, you've got some time in the day to practice. I don't care how busy you think you are, you've got some time to practice. So, sit down and figure out when that is. And whatever time it is, write it down. Make yourself an appointment. Okay, I get home from 3:30 from school. Grab a snack, whatever you're going to do. From 4 to 4:30, I'm going to practice guitar. Or from 4 to 5, if you're a little more, you want to get better faster. 4 to 5 every day, guitar time. Or drum set time. Or piano time. Or singing time. Whatever it is you want to do. Okay? It could be, it could be later. It could be 7. If you're a student and you get home from school, the first thing you do is you do your homework, which is smart. You should. Or maybe your parents will say, no, you're doing your homework. You get home, do your homework first. Fine. Do that. If you're done by 7, and then typically you go sit down at 7 because you've made an appointment to watch a certain TV show that you really like, change that appointment. DVR it, TiVo, whatever. But now your new appointment is 7 o'clock is guitar time. Or drum set time. So 7 to 8 or 7 to 7:45 is guitar time. This is when I do my thing. Make an appointment. Schedule that time. You can do this. Now if you're an adult and you have a busy work schedule, I understand. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I have a wife, a kids, jobs, commitments outside of music. It's a little more challenging. I will admit that to you, especially if you're married and have a family. Now, if you're single and out of school, it's a little bit different. But, you know, even you guys or gals out there who have family commitments, you have kids that have to be fed and taken wherever they need to go, and you got to go do all kinds of stuff, run errands. You got to be a little bit more. You have to be a little bit more creative. For you, it's earlier in the morning, or whatever time it is. If you have time to watch TV, or you have time to get on Facebook or YouTube, you've got time to practice. It's as simple as that. So you might have to take some other things away, take away some of your TV time, or take away some of the other things that waste time in our lives and replace it. But it might mean getting up an hour earlier to play some guitar. You know, you can do that. If everybody's asleep, they have guitars with headphones. They have amps with headphones. You can practice. You can practice without even being plugged in. It might be late at night. I don't know, but you just got to find the time. So tip number 1, write down what time you're going to practice. Write out your week. Figure out every single day, because every single day you got different stuff going on. You might have, you know, if you're a spiritual person and you have commitments to either your church or your synagogue or your mosque, or, you know, whatever it is you do, you know, you have that going in your week. If you're an athlete and you train, you go work out, you run, that's something you've got going during the week. Whatever it is you have going outside of just work and school, you know, you figure out those times. Write it down on paper. Write down what those times are, and somewhere in there, I guarantee you can find at least 30 minutes to schedule out some practice on. But write it down. That's really the key, is writing it down on paper first and looking at it and seeing it in black and white. Okay, here's the time I have to do this.
Yeah, practice!